Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Keller, and I am with Catalyst Senior Living Solutions. If you haven't heard of Catalyst, we have two service offerings, a senior living contact center and financial advocates. Both act as an extension of your sales team to help you drive occupancy. So, I'm here today to talk to you more about some data on our contact center side of the house. Over the last year, we've analyzed more than 1 million phone calls placed to senior living communities. And what we found may change the way that you think about lead management. If you've ever asked yourself, are we making the most of our leads? Are we staffed correctly after hours? And are we missing move-ins because of slow response times? This mini webinar is for you. Before we dive in, let me give you some quick context. At Catalyst, we've spent more than a decade building our very own contact center solutions exclusively for senior living operators like you. We built our own standalone tech that plugs directly into your CRM. So think Welcome Home, Sherpa, Yardi, Eldermark, Salesforce, you name it. We hire full-time advocates. That's what we call our contact center agents with backgrounds in healthcare. These are not hourly temps. They're paid very well, trained deeply, and they become a true extension of your brand and your sales team. And the data that you see today comes from over 1 million inbound and outbound calls across 100 plus communities in 2024, all tracked, analyzed, and benchmarked to cover what's really happening behind the scenes. Ready? Let's dig into it. Let's get started with a very common scenario. A family member picks up a phone to call your community. Emotionally, they are ready to take that next step. But your sales director is busy giving a tour, or they're on a home visit. They're doing really high value work, which is great. That means that call gets routed to your front desk. And while your receptionist is wonderful, at the end of the day, they are not trained in a sales conversation. So what happens? A polite chat, maybe info is maybe jotted down on a sticky note. Is this sounding familiar? Because realistically, that sticky note never hits your CRM. Here's the data. Only 20 to 30% of inbound phone calls coming into your community are sales related. And of those, just 35% speak with a community sales professional. Oh my goodness, mind blown. But this really isn't about blaming your team. It's about recognizing the gap. A gap where high intent leads are slipping through simply because we don't have a system in place to catch them. Now let's break down the performance by channel. Phone calls make up to 26% of leads, but drive 46% of move-ins. Form fills, they're 70% of lead volume, but only 48% of move-ins. Phone leads convert at 6.5% compared to just 1.3% for form fills. That means the phone call is 5 times more effective. Now, with that in mind, I want to speak to my marketing friends for a moment. I get why you are hesitant to drive phone calls. At the end of the day, you can't guarantee a great experience. Will someone pick up? Will the call get logged? Will the lead be lost? Will I be able to attribute my marketing efforts to this lead? I totally get it. I get why you focus your dollar on form fills because at least you can track the conversion, right? But imagine if you could drive high converting phone calls with confidence, knowing every call would be answered professionally and automatically logged into your CRM. How would that change your strategy? Now, let's see what the data says on timing. 1 in 5 tours, that's 20%, are scheduled from inbound calls made after hours or on the weekends. And here's the kicker. Saturday calls have the highest tour booking rate at 19.5%. But when I ask operators what their strategy is for weekends and evening coverage, I hear some pretty similar stories. I'll hear, we have a phone tree system and it sometimes works. Or our care teams answer if they can. Or we don't have a phone system in place at all. If that does sound familiar, you are not alone. But that does mean that you might be missing 1 in 5 tour bookings, not because of the lead quality or the lack of effort, but because of timing. And think about your sales team. We all know how hard it is to find and keep great salespeople. Expecting them to be on all the time is a fast path to burnout. Imagine a mom at her kid's soccer game having to step away to answer a tour inquiry. That's not sustainable for them or for your pipeline. This is exactly where a dedicated contact center can help you. You don't just protect your after-hour leads, you also protect your best people. Now let's go into a conversation that everyone loves to talk about, speed to lead. What I find really interesting about speed to lead is that number one, we're all starting to pay attention to it and measure it in our CRMs, which I think is absolutely awesome. But when I look at industry benchmark reports, what I've heard is that 4 hours is really the standard. But let's look at the data. If you respond under 5 minutes, your contact rate is 83%. But if you wait an hour, it drops to 74%. Wait 5 hours, you're down to just 56%. Families don't reach out casually. When they reach out, they're ready. They've made an emotional decision to take action. And they expect us to be ready too on the other side. Speed isn't just a best practice, it's your first impression. So, what if they don't answer on the first try? How many times should I keep trying before I should give up? Here's what we found. Call 1 has a 39% answer rate. Calls 6 through 10 still yield a 64% tour scheduling rate. Not too bad, right? Across all follow-ups, persistence leads to an 11% increase in scheduled tours. The truth is, most sales teams will give up after just a few calls. But the data is clear. If you're not calling 6, 8, even 10 times, you're leaving move-ins on the table. Build a cadence, stick with it. That's where the results are. I'm all about actionable data, and I know that you are as well. So now that you do have the data in front of you, what can you do with it starting today? Here's a list of some ways to get started. Number 1, start tracking your phone lead conversion versus your form fills. And if you need help tracking your phone leads, reach out to me. I can help you with that. Number 2, secret shop your after hours. This is a really easy way to understand what is actually the experience that you're getting today and just test out who is actually following the system that you have in place. How often are you actually getting a response from a team member and what's that experience like as a lead? This is a really, really tangible thing that you can do to help you understand how you're doing when those high intent phone leads are coming in. Make sure you're checking your speed to lead. If you are sitting at 4 hours and patting yourself on the back, look at the data and see what that looks like if you could get that to 10 minutes or less and put some strategies in place. Take a look at your outreach cadence. If your salespeople are only following up 1, 2, 3 times, maybe figure out a way that they can be more persistent. We know there is power in the follow-up. And once you do secret shop your after hours and weekends, ensure evenings and weekends are covered because you don't want to leave that 20% of warm sales leads on the table. These are small changes, but when done consistently, it can drive big wins when it comes to your important KPIs. After you've done this research and you can really see where you're at today, I do encourage you to, again, put that plan in place. And it is a lot of work, I'm not going to lie. So if you do want a partner in helping you with your lead management, we at Catalyst would love to help you. Again, we are a contact center built specifically for senior living operators. Our advocates are full-time, career-minded individuals with experience in healthcare who act as an extension of your team. And with us, you're covered more than 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on holidays. So even if you just wanted to use a team like us for after hours and weekends, we would definitely be available to make sure you're covered during those high intense sales hours. We've been doing this for more than 10 years, and we are so proud to help our partners fill their communities with speed, empathy, and precision. So if this made you think about your phone funnel a little differently, good. Because the families calling your community are thinking differently too. They expect someone will answer. They expect a follow-up. They expect care. We've compiled all this data into a downloadable report, and you can grab it right now. Or if you'd rather talk through what after hours and weekend strategy could look like, you can book a time with me directly. Let's make sure that no lead, no family is left behind. Thank you so much for joining me.